the Antifa, and you haven't seen the last of them, and you haven't seen the last of it on the Confederate memorials and all those other things. In the meantime, we got H.K. Edgerton joins us right now, former NAACP branch president and advocate of Southern civil rights. And, of course, the latest is the Manatee County Confederate Monument. And they went out in the dark of night and tried to move that one, and they broke it in pieces. And, HK, what do you think of all this stuff?
Well, God bless you, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I think it's total sacrilege. And I really wanted to ask all your citizens in Hillsborough County to call the county commissioners right now, as soon as they get through hearing my voice, and ask them to stick with the decision they made not to remove the Confederate Soldiers Monument and integrate the monument. I may continue to add. It is absolutely totally shameful that Les Miller will climb into bed with the thugs of Black Lives Matter, those thugs that George Soros sent into the Southland of America as though they represent decent black folks around here. Those thugs from the new Black Panther Party, and especially George Soros, who pays these folks to come here and create this havoc. And I hope that when I get to Tampa, I get the opportunity to talk about Charlottesville, but I won't take up that time here this morning. I received about 50 phone calls yesterday from your interviews with my dear Christian and sincere, God-fearing friend David McAllister. That's all I really want to say about that. But you know what I feel about it. This is cultural suicide. Now, it started out as cultural genocide when these folks from the NAACP began the attack on the Southern Cross on the capital of Columbia, South Carolina, to increase their funds. This is unholy, and decent Southern people need to say, no, enough is enough. We're not going to have ISIS in America, and that's what we're looking at right now.
HK, I find it very interesting, your battle specifically. As a black man, you are somebody who's been fighting this fight for a while, and for me, this is something that it's only really come out as much as it has in the last month or so, and the outcry and the outrage over it. What's it been like for you to watch this unfold, especially in the last month specifically?
It's been sickening for me. As you know, I walked across Texas carrying the Southern Cross, and I ran into decent black folks who came out who didn't have the voice that tell their stories about the place of honor that their folks earned in the Confederate Army. Did not have a voice to talk about the loving relationship that they developed with the Christian white folks in the Southland of America in lieu of the worldwide economic institution of slavery. The whole world was complicit there. These folks who and boy, let me tell you, to hear Nancy Pelosi to come out and say she's going to attack the flag this morning, that ought to set an eye-opener for all black America. The Democratic Party have been using black folks as the weapon of choice against the Christian white folks in the Southland of America since 1865 when General Robert E. Lee sat down. And all the black organizations that would come up, the Pole Bearers, the Monumental Knights Association, they warned black folks, beware of these folks. Let us do all we can do to retain and regain the relationship with the only friend we ever had in this country, and that is the Christian white folks, the Judeo-Christian white folks in the Southland of America. These folks were there, so they know this attack. Why can't we sit down and talk about this thing in an educational manner? They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to talk. If you watch Fox News and all the other places, they go out and find these black folks all they want us to holler is slavery, race slavery. You know, I'm sitting at the city council in Hillsborough, and here's a Spanish man dogging us out over here. And the Spanish were in the slave trade 400 years before the first African was introduced in the 13 colonies. It's a shame. And it's a shame that people are being duped.
Well,
it breaks my heart because I don't want to see the African people in America go back to the days of Reconstruction where these folks conjured up hate between us and the Christian white folks in the Southland of America. And let me tell you something, that is what is happening now. It breaks my heart.
Well, HK, you are a great voice for your people and for all people, and we certainly appreciate your joining us, and we'll be talking to you again very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, HK.
God bless you, sir.
H.K. Edgerton, the former NAACP branch president and advocate of Southern civil rights, and it is good to hear his take on all of this.
He was fighting this before anybody cared about it.
Oh, yeah, big time. And it's just now surfaced what he knew was going to be coming.